These are all new actual official IPF world records, but not many people seem to respect them because of their short range of motion. So clearly something needs to be changed. So that's why in today's video I want to talk about the zero range of motion bench press. And the video is gonna be split into 4 sections, as you can see, with the first one being what is new. So a few days ago this was posted on Reddit. It basically says that the president of the IPF, Gaston Parage, wants to remove arches in bench press, and he wants to achieve this by having everyone bench with a complete flat back. Now this was also posted, and here we can see why they wanted to make a rule change. They wanted to reinforce that the bench press is a test of strength and not mobility or flexibility. So that's the new information we have gotten over the past few days. So now let's look into what exactly is the problem. Okay, I think it's pretty obvious what the problem is. There is no range of motion in the bench press. But does less range of motion equal a stronger bench press? Well, the answer to that is it depends. But here Jeff Nippert has a great argument to why it might not increase your bench press to have a smaller range of motion.
We also need to consider which part of the range is being cut short when we pull sumo. For comparison, just think about a full depth squat versus a half squat. The hardest part of the squat is clearly the bottom half. You almost never see someone failing a squat in the top half of the range. So even if you load more weight, you're still skipping the most difficult part of the lift when you do a half squat. By contrast, when you do a sumo deadlift, you still have to hit the hardest parts of the range.
So that leaves us with 2 questions. What is the hardest part of the lift in the bench press? And do we skip that part by arching? I think most people agree that off the chest is the hardest part of the bench press. Even though you might fail at the logout, it's often because of a technical issue in the bottom. But does arching remove the bottom of the bench press? Yes and no. We still have to get to the bottom where the bar touches the chest, but that position is different and more of a decline position than a non-arched bench press. And therefore, arching on the bench press will, in most cases, make you lift more. And that's the problem, that people that arch on the bench press lift more because of a superior biomechanical positioning and not because of superior strength. And that brings me to the next part of the video. Who cares? And I think there is 2 groups of people here. The powerlifters and the viewers of the sport. And the main issue for the powerlifters if IPF changed the rules of the bench press would be that they would all have to adapt to new rules. People that have trained for years and years to perfect their arch and everything in their bench press will now have to relearn everything again. But for the regular people, one of the main things for powerlifting is that it's relatable. Unlike Olympic weightlifting, powerlifting is just the squat, bench press and deadlift, which everybody can do. But if you turn these lifts into something completely different than what you do in the gym, nobody wants to see it. Now, as mentioned in the start of the video, the IPF president wants to achieve this by having everybody lay complete flat with their back on the bench press. Now, as a IPF judge myself, I really hope they do not make this rule, because it would literally be impossible to tell if a person has a flat back or not. As you can see here, I can easily put my hand under my waist, so my back isn't flat at all, even though it looks like it. So what other options do we have? There's the 90-degree elbow rule, or that the upper arm has to be parallel to the floor. Now this rule does make very good sense, but the problem is some people will never be able to achieve that. This guy has basically no arch, yet he would still be borderline for this rule. Now next up is foot positioning. Some people argue that if we change the rule for where the feet can be, most people wouldn't be able to have the extreme arches. If that holds true, I think this would be one of the best ways to do it. Now, one of the reasons people's arch gets better and better is also because of the setup gets better and better. So maybe we should try the opposite, get some more slippery benches and ban chalking on the back. Now the next option is a closer max grip width. This would not eliminate arching at all, but it would eliminate zero range of motion bench press. But I also believe that most people have a better arch with a wider grip. Right now the max grip width is the ring on the bar. The rule right now is that the ring has to be covered or your hands are closer than the ring. And the main issue is in the weight classes below 83, I believe. So if they just made a secondary ring that was a bit closer in the 83 and all weight classes down from there, that would probably solve the issue of the no range of motion. But what do you guys think about it? I would like to hear your guys' opinion in the comment section below, and thank you very much for watching.